Do you see that strange and scary creature on the screen? Well, its relatives are prehistoric. And if I told you that it looks like a fusion between a spider and a scorpion, would you believe it? Throughout history, our planet has experienced at least 5 mass extinctions. These extinctions wiped out about 70% of life on Earth. According to experts, it is nearly impossible for a single species to survive for millions of years without changing. A study from American scientists shows that animal species typically last between 500,000 to 3 million years before being replaced by more adapted descendants. However, over time, some of these species have managed to keep their characteristics for millions of years, and that's where the so-called living fossils come in. These are modern animals with traits reminiscent of their prehistoric ancestors. Let's now get to know some of these ancient beings that are still alive today. So go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and now let's dive into the video. Platypus. Let's start with one of the most peculiar creatures of the modern fauna, the platypus. This bizarre animal has approximately 146 million years of history, which means it shared the planet with dinosaurs. That alone makes it a remarkable survivor. But what makes the platypus even more fascinating are its contradictory and unique characteristics. Despite being a mammal, which usually makes us think of animals that give birth to live young, the platypus defies that logic. It lays eggs, something more common among reptiles and birds, and that's not all. Its body seems to be made up of parts from different animals. It has a broad, flat beak, very similar to a duck's. Its body is covered in thick fur, much like an otter's, helping it maintain temperature while swimming in cold waters. And its tail resembles that of a beaver, useful for storing fat and aiding in swimming. Quite indecisive, right? It seems like it picked a little from each category of the animal kingdom. This unique combination made it, for a long time, considered a biological enigma. In fact, the first scientists to study it thought it was a hoax, as if someone had stitched together different animal parts into one body. Furthermore, the platypus is a classic example of what we call a living fossil, a species that has maintained its morphological characteristics almost unchanged for millions of years. Fossils of mammals very similar to it have been found and dated to around 146 million years ago. Even with such evolutionary longevity, it continues to surprise us. Although it is a mammal, it is capable of producing venom from spurs on its hind legs, a rare trait in this group of animals. This makes the platypus a remarkable survivor of evolution, carrying with it the story of life on Earth and showing how nature is full of mysteries and incredible adaptations. 2. Frilled shark. Now let's move on to one of the most intriguing and frightening animals on our list, the frilled shark. While its name might suggest something similar to the sharks we're familiar with, its appearance is vastly different from what we expect. In fact, with its long, cylindrical body than a typical shark. This gives it an almost prehistoric look, as if it were a creature straight out of a science fiction movie. This rare shark is known for its 300 incredibly sharp teeth, arranged in 25 rows. These teeth are designed for capturing prey with extreme efficiency. They work like tiny hooks, allowing the frilled shark to grab and hold onto its prey securely as it swallows them whole. It's a terrifying structure that looks more like a brush full of blades than the mouth of a predator. The shape of its mouth, which opens into a frightening circular shape, also adds to its resemblance to deep-sea creatures, like eels. But what really makes the frilled shark an interesting story is that, for many years, it was thought to be extinct. Its existence remained a mystery until 2007, when a fisherman in the shallow waters of Japan found a live but sick specimen. Imagine the surprise of discovering that this deep-sea creature still existed after being thought to have disappeared. The rediscovery of the frilled shark gave scientists a unique opportunity to study this animal in its natural habitat, and its anatomical structure showed very few changes compared to fossils dating back millions of years, which classifies it as another living fossil. The frilled shark primarily inhabits deep waters between 600 and 1,500 meters deep, where sunlight barely reaches. This inhospitable environment has helped preserve it, keeping it away from human contact and other predators. Its life in the deep sea, combined with its ancient appearance, has allowed it to retain many of the characteristics of its ancestors, which lived around 150 million years ago. Despite its bizarre and frightening appearance, the frilled shark is relatively small, reaching a maximum length of around 2 meters. It moves slowly through the depths of the ocean, using its flexible body to hunt its prey, typically fish and other deep-sea animals. Although it poses no direct threat to humans, the rediscovery of the frilled shark reminds us that the oceans still hold many mysteries, including species we believe to have been extinct for a long time. 3. Chinese giant salamander. Now let's move on to one of the most fascinating and imposing amphibians still living on our planet, the Chinese giant salamander. With its robust body and unique appearance, it holds the title of the largest living amphibian in the world, reaching an impressive 1.5 meters in length and weighing up to 45 kilograms. For many, the Chinese giant salamander seems like a creature from a distant past, and it's no wonder, as it has been surviving for over 170 million years, virtually unchanged in its morphology. This colossal animal has thick, wrinkled skin that helps it blend into aquatic environments like cold, clear rivers and streams, where it spends most of its life. It is a nocturnal predator, and despite its imposing size, primarily feeds on fish, small invertebrates, and even other amphibians. Its hunting method is simple but effective. It remains motionless at the riverbed, patiently waiting for its prey to come close enough to be captured in a swift ambush. Unfortunately, the Chinese giant salamander is critically endangered, and the reasons for this are concerning. In addition to climate change impacting its aquatic habitat, the salamander is also suffering from overhunting. It is considered a luxury delicacy in certain regions of China, served in exquisite dishes that can cost a fortune. Additionally, its body parts are widely used in traditional Chinese medicine, where it is believed that the salamander's skin and other parts have properties that help prevent aging and treat various ailments. This combination of factors has placed the species in an extremely vulnerable situation. The destruction of its natural habitats and illegal hunting have drastically reduced its population. To make matters worse, the salamander has a slow reproductive cycle, which makes it difficult for the species to recover from such threats. Today, it is protected by the Chinese government, and conservation efforts are underway to try to save this unique species from total extinction. What makes the Chinese giant salamander even more special is its status as a living fossil. Fossils of salamanders very similar to it have been found and date back over 170 million years, meaning its ancestors swam in the planet's rivers long before humans even existed. Throughout this time, the salamander has retained many of its ancient characteristics, adapting over millennia but maintaining an appearance and behavior that connect us directly to a prehistoric past. Preserving this incredible amphibian is essential not only to maintain the planet's biodiversity, but also to protect a piece of Earth's evolutionary history. The Chinese giant salamander is a living witness to a distant past that, with luck and conservation efforts, may still be admired by future generations. 4. Nostricid. We now come to the peculiar nostricid, also known as the tadpole shrimp, a small but fascinating creature. This animal has an unusual appearance that blends characteristics of shrimp and other primitive crustaceans, with an oval body and small fins that make it look more like something out of a science fiction movie than from a natural environment. However, as strange as it may seem, the nostricid is a prehistoric being that has been inhabiting our planet for millions of years. Nostricids are small crustaceans, typically measuring between 6 to 11 centimeters, and their appearance resembles that of tiny aquatic aliens. They have a flattened body covered by a transparent carapace, which not only provides some protection, but also gives them the curious look of a miniature tadpole, hence their common name. This animal belongs to the class Brachiopoda, a group of primitive crustaceans that has existed since the Devonian period, about 419 million years ago. These small creatures are true masters of adaptation to extreme environments. They live in freshwater, often in intermittent ponds, bodies of water that dry up completely during the warmer months and only refill during the rainy season. To survive in these unstable environments, the nostricid has evolved to have an extremely rapid life cycle. It can transition from egg to adult in just 2 or 3 weeks. This accelerated life cycle allows the species to reproduce before the pond dries up again, ensuring its survival under adverse conditions. Another impressive aspect of this species is its ability to enter a state of dormancy. When the water in their habitat evaporates, nostricid eggs can survive in the dry soil for years or even decades, waiting for ideal conditions to hatch. Once the water returns, the eggs hatch, and the new generation of nostricids quickly restarts the cycle. This makes them true survivors, capable of enduring extreme variations in their habitat, a trait that has ensured their existence for millions of years. However, despite this adaptability, the nostricid is now critically endangered. The destruction of its natural habitats, such as the draining of ponds and the intensive use of pesticides and fertilizers in agriculture, has threatened the survival of this species. Many of the temporary water bodies where they live have been destroyed, drastically reducing their populations. Additionally, Global climate change poses a significant threat to these small crustaceans. With increasingly unpredictable weather patterns and extended droughts in various regions, the environment that allows nostricids to develop is becoming increasingly rare. Although their life cycle is adapted to withstand natural fluctuations, these extreme and rapid climate changes are surpassing their ability to adapt. Despite being relatively unknown, nostricids play an important ecological role in their habitats, acting as part of the food chain in freshwater ecosystems and helping to control small organisms that also inhabit these environments. Therefore, their preservation is crucial for maintaining the balance of these fragile ecosystems. The nostricid is yet another example of a living fossil, a species that has changed little over millions of years but now faces an uncertain future. Its rapid adaptability and resilience to time and extreme conditions make it a true living relic of ancient times, but without conservation efforts, this small crustacean may disappear forever. 5. Lamprey. Now let's discuss the lamprey, one of the most ancient and mysterious inhabitants of our planet's waters. This primitive fish is quite different from the common fish we are accustomed to seeing. With a body that resembles an eel and a behavior similar to that of a leech, the lamprey is known for feeding on the blood of other fish. Although this trait might seem rather alarming, what truly stands out is that some species of lampreys are among the oldest creatures on Earth, existing for around 350 million years. Lampreys are primitive vertebrates belonging to the class Agnatha, which means they lack jaws like most modern fish. Instead, they have a circular suction cup-like mouth filled with sharp keratinized teeth. This unique mouth allows the lamprey to attach itself to other fish and, using its pointed tongue, pierce the flesh of its prey to suck blood and other bodily fluids. Once a lamprey attaches to a fish, it is difficult to remove, making it an efficient predator in many aquatic environments. There are about 40 different species of lampreys distributed around the world. Some live in fresh water, while others, known as anadromous lampreys, have a life cycle that involves migrating between rivers and oceans. Anadromous lampreys reproduce in fresh water, but spend much of their adult lives in the sea, where they grow and feed before returning to rivers to spawn. This migratory life cycle is similar to that of salmon, another anadromous species. The most well-known species is Petromyzon marinus, also called the sea lamprey, which can grow up to an impressive 1.2 meters in length. However, most lampreys reach more modest sizes, usually around 30 centimeters. Despite their parasitic behavior, lampreys play an important role in aquatic ecosystems by helping to control fish populations and other marine organisms. What makes the lamprey a true living fossil is that it has retained its morphological characteristics virtually unchanged for millions of years. The oldest lamprey fossils date back 350 million years, meaning they were present in the oceans long before dinosaurs walked the earth. Their primitive anatomy, including the absence of jaws, offers a window into the past, revealing what some of the earliest vertebrates were like. Despite their long evolutionary history, lampreys face modern challenges that threaten their survival. Many species are at risk of extinction, primarily due to the destruction of their natural habitats and water pollution. Additionally, the construction of dams and reservoirs has hindered the migration of anadromous lampreys, preventing them from reaching their spawning grounds and compromising their reproductive cycles. Lampreys also have a complicated history with humanity. In some regions, they are considered pests due to their habit of parasitizing commercial fish, causing damage to fishing industries. Conversely, in other parts of the world, such as Europe, lampreys are regarded as a delicacy and have been consumed since the Middle Ages. For centuries, lamprey was a popular dish among European royalty. It is said that King Henry I of England died of indigestion after a lamprey feast. Although their appearance might be frightening to some, lampreys are a fascinating species that has survived for millions of years, adapting to drastic changes in Earth's ecosystems. They are yet another testament to how life on our planet can be resilient, evolving slowly while remaining present through various geological eras. As a species that has survived mass extinctions and global environmental changes, lampreys are true survivors of natural history, offering a unique perspective on vertebrate evolution. Even with their predatory appearance and habits, they continue to play an essential role in the food chain of aquatic ecosystems. 6. Horseshoe crab. Now let's explore the horseshoe crab, one of the most fascinating and ancient creatures on Earth. Despite its name, this animal is not a true crab. In fact, it is more closely related to arachnids, such as spiders and scorpions, than to the crabs we are familiar with. It has existed for over 445 million years, making it one of the oldest species still living among us, having survived mass extinctions and drastic changes in Earth's environment. Visually, the horseshoe crab has a rather peculiar and even eerie appearance to those unfamiliar with it. Its body body is covered by a rigid horseshoe-shaped shell, which gave it its name, and it also possesses a long, pointed tail that helps it right itself if it gets flipped onto its back. Additionally, it has 9 eyes, though its vision is not particularly sharp, and these eyes are scattered across different parts of its body, used for detecting light and movement. But what is truly remarkable about this animal is its blue blood. Yes, blue. The unusual color is due to the presence of hemocyanin, a copper-containing protein, instead of iron, which is used to transport oxygen in the blood. However, what really makes the horseshoe crab's blood valuable is not just its color, but its special properties. This blood contains amoebocytes, which are extremely sensitive to bacterial toxins. As a result, horseshoe crab blood is widely used in the biomedical industry to test the purity of medicines, vaccines, and even medical equipment. A small amount of horseshoe crab blood can quickly detect the presence of harmful bacteria, preventing dangerous contaminations. Because of this incredible ability, horseshoe crab blood has become one of the most valuable liquids in the world, with 1 liter reaching prices up to $15,000. It is crucial for ensuring the safety of many medical products that we use daily. Since the 1970s, scientists have been extracting blood from these animals for testing. Despite efforts to release horseshoe crabs back into the wild after blood collection, studies show that between 10% and 30% of them end up dying during the process. The horseshoe crab primarily lives in shallow, muddy waters, such as those found along the Atlantic coast of North America and Southeast Asia. They often gather in large numbers on beaches to breed, with females laying thousands of eggs in the sand, which later hatch into tiny larvae that resemble miniature versions of the adults. These eggs also play a crucial role in the ecosystem, serving as food for migratory birds. From an evolutionary standpoint, the horseshoe crab has remained virtually unchanged since its origin over 445 million years ago. It is considered a perfect example of a living fossil, as its fossils show little difference from modern specimens. It has survived 5 major mass extinctions, including the one that wiped out the dinosaurs, and continues to adapt to the present day. Despite its remarkable appearance and behavior, horseshoe crabs are currently facing challenges. Overfishing and the destruction of coastal habitats are growing threats to their populations, and the increasing demand for their blood in the biomedical industry also pressures their numbers. Additionally, many of the areas where they breed are being destroyed by human development, reducing the chances of survival for their offspring. Nevertheless, the horseshoe crab continues to play a vital role in both science and the ecosystems it inhabits. It is a living example of how nature can create incredibly adaptable and valuable beings, not only for the planet's biodiversity, but also for human health. The fact that these animals were here long before the dinosaurs and continue to exist today is truly remarkable. 7. Immortal jellyfish. Now let's discuss one of the most fascinating and mysterious creatures of the ocean, jellyfish. They have been around for over 500 million years, making them some of the oldest creatures on Earth. Due to their gelatinous composition, consisting of 95% water, they rarely leave fossils, making it challenging to study their entire history. Nevertheless, we know that these incredible beings have survived nearly all of the planet's major changes. Among the many jellyfish species, one stands out in a nearly supernatural way. Turritopsis dohrnii, also known as the immortal jellyfish. That's right, immortal. It might sound like something out of a science fiction film, but it's real. The Turritopsis dohrnii possesses a remarkable ability that defies the laws of nature. It can rejuvenate its tissues, reverting to the polyp stage, a young phase of its life cycle, when it is under stress or when it ages. Essentially, it does not die of natural causes. This rejuvenation ability is unique among living organisms, which is why the immortal jellyfish has attracted significant interest from scientists worldwide who are trying to understand how this process works. The Turritopsis undergoes a process known as transdifferentiation, where its adult cells revert to a youthful state. In other words, instead of continuing to age, it reverses its life cycle, a phenomenon considered biologically immortal. Of course, the immortal jellyfish can still die from predators, diseases, or other external factors, but under normal conditions, it can rejuvenate infinitely, making it a true biological marvel. This ability has led scientists to study it in hopes of uncovering more about the mechanisms of aging, and perhaps one day applying this knowledge to human medicine. Generally, jellyfish are also extremely resilient. Unlike many other marine creatures, they seem to benefit from climate change and ocean pollution. In warmer and more polluted waters, jellyfish populations increase, making them even more dominant in the oceans. They are among the few species that appear to be adapting positively to environmental changes, which has helped them remain strong and present for so long. In addition to their incredible survival capability, some jellyfish are quite dangerous, such as the box jellyfish, which which possesses one of the most venomous stings in the world, capable of killing a human in minutes. However, most jellyfish are not as harmful and merely cause skin irritation upon contact. The Turritopsis dohrnii, with its 2-centimeter diameter, may seem tiny and harmless, but its impact on the scientific world is enormous. Its ability to escape natural aging makes it one of the most mysterious and intriguing beings in the animal kingdom, and there is still much to discover about it. 8. Nautilus. Now let's talk about the nautilus, one of the oldest creatures on the planet. It is a marine mollusk that has been inhabiting the oceans for over 500 million years. This means that the nautilus was around long before the dinosaurs appeared, and remarkably, it has remained virtually unchanged since then. This animal is a true living fossil. The nautilus has a distinctive feature, its external shell, which is divided into several chambers. These chambers are filled with gas, allowing the nautilus to control its buoyancy and move up or down in the water efficiently. The animal lives in the last chamber, closest to the opening of the shell, while the other chambers serve as a natural flotation system. As the nautilus grows, it creates new chambers, expanding its shell. The nautilus's spiral shell is a true symbol of mathematical perfection, and it has been admired by humans throughout history. The shell also plays a crucial role in the mollusk's survival, providing protection against predators and other marine threats. Despite having survived for millions of years, the nautilus now faces a significant risk of extinction. This is largely due to targeted hunting for its shell, which is used in jewelry and ornaments. The nautilus shell is highly valued for its beauty, leading to excessive pressure on its populations, which are already naturally small. Additionally, climate change and the destruction of marine habitats are also threatening its survival. The nautilus primarily lives in the depths of the ocean, in coral reef areas, and with coral bleaching and the destruction of these ecosystems, the life of these animals is becoming increasingly difficult. The nautilus is one of the clearest examples of an animal that has hardly changed over millions of years. Its ability to survive for so long in a constantly changing environment is a testament to its incredible adaptation and resilience. However, it now depends on human action to continue existing for the next millions of years. This fascinating mollusk serves as a reminder of the fragility of marine life and how even the oldest and most resilient creatures can be put at risk by human activities. It underscores the importance of preserving species like the nautilus to maintain the balance of marine ecosystems and preserve the rich biodiversity of our planet. 9. Sea sponge. Finally, we come to the sea sponge, one of the oldest creatures on the planet with records of existence dating back at least 890 million years. This means they have been around for nearly 1 billion years, long before the first complex animals appeared on Earth. And despite their simple appearance, sea sponges are animals, not plants, as many might initially think. Sea sponges belong to the phylum Porifera, and their body structure is completely different from that of other animals. They lack a nervous system, muscles, or internal organs like hearts or lungs. However, this doesn't stop them from surviving for so long. Sponges feed through a process called filtration, where they pull water through tiny pores in their bodies, trapping microscopic food particles. The variety of shapes, colors, and sizes of sea sponges is impressive. Some are small and inconspicuous, while others, such as the largest sponge ever discovered, can be colossal. In 2015, researchers found a giant sponge in the deep waters off Hawaii that measured over 3 meters wide and about 2 meters tall. This sponge is considered one of the largest and possibly one of the oldest in the world. Another interesting fact about sea sponges is that they play a crucial role in the ocean ecosystem by helping to maintain water quality through filtration and providing shelter for various smaller marine species. Additionally, their remarkable regenerative ability makes them extremely resistant to physical damage. Although there are currently more than 8,000 species of sea sponges, their ancient origins and fossil discoveries indicate they existed long before many other complex forms of life. Despite not facing the same threats as many other animals, such as hunting or predatory fishing, sea sponges are still at risk due to climate change and ocean pollution, which jeopardize their habitat and survival. The longevity and simplicity of sea sponges are a testament to the resilience of life on our planet. They may not be the most dynamic or visible animals in the oceans, but their survival through entire geological eras shows how nature finds innovative ways to adapt and persist. These are just a few examples of living fossils that continue to endure, defying time and planetary changes. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone.